The Flexbone offense is an old school offense based off of triple options and midline reads that kind of faded into the past, but with the resurgence of Navy and Army and their great records this year, it's kind of come back into the public eye a little bit. So, what if you want to implement it into college football 25? Let's talk about the personnel, the packages, everything you need to know to run a successful Flexbone offense. All right, the first thing you're going to want to know when you're going into the Flexbone is what the base plays are for the offense. And then you're going to start off with the triple option. The triple option is probably what people most know. You're going to make your first read by reading the defensive end. If he crashes, you keep it with your quarterback. If he stays upfield, you're going to give it to your running back. Pretty simple. And then if you keep it with your quarterback, of course, you have a pitch man to pitch it like it's a speed option. We'll dive into that onto the field later, but that is the core option of the Flexbone. However, the midline option is also a big part of this offense, where you're basically reading the three technique defensive tackle. And if he crashes in to fill where he's unblocked, you're going to keep it with the quarterback and replace where he was. And if he doesn't crash, if he stays where he's at, you give it to your running back to run straight up field. So that is going to be the second core play in the Flexbone offense. The next core play is going to be your rocket toss play. So that's where you send one of your upbacks in motion, you toss it to him on the motion, try to get him some momentum and get him to the outside. And then your core passing game is really going to be play action, boots, rollouts, stuff like that to try and catch people off guard after you set up the run inside. All right, let's talk a little bit about personnel, starting with the quarterback. Of course, Blake Horvath is the quarterback for Navy. In regs, he's actually got running abilities like balanced and I believe head first. So he gets better trucking and breaks hit sticks better. Unfortunately, with the way that archetypes are set up in franchise, he's not going to get those abilities, but he's pretty much the archetype of the quarterback you want. I'm going to say strictly for this offense, you only want a scrambling quarterback or a scrambler, not an improviser, not a field general. And the main reason is pitches can get really tough and funky in this game, and you're going to want somebody that can get that option king ability. One other thing I love to see on quarterbacks for the Flexbone is a little bit of girth, a little bit of weight to them, and a good carrying rating, because they are going to run that midline option a little bit where they run into the middle of the offense. First one we're going to look at is Eli Holstein from Pittsburgh. Fits it greatly. He is a four-star freshman quarterback, 6'4", 225. Not even the quickest in the world, 84 speed, 87 acceleration, but he's got 86 carrying. He's already got that bronze option king, perfect for this offense. Another quarterback that is great for this offense is freshman quarterback DJ Lagway at Florida. He is 6'3", 239. He's already got silver option king. He's rocking 82 carrying, 88 speed, 85 acceleration. And then if you want to dig really deep, you can start up at South Alabama with Gio Lopez. Only normal development, but he's an 82 as a freshman, silver option king. He's got 83 speed, 86 acceleration, 79 carrying. Isn't over the 80 threshold that I like, but still a good ball carrier. He's 6 foot 220. He's got that girth to him. So 3 options of quarterbacks to start your dynasty with. If you're running Ultimate Team, this new Lenora Sellers card is great for a Flexbone quarterback. Honestly, would be great for a quarterback in Dynasty as well at South Carolina. This Cam Ward would be great. If you're looking for a cheaper option, this KJ Jefferson would be really good, as well as Eli Holstein here. Their archetype really doesn't matter as much in Ultimate Team because you can put whatever abilities they have the stats for. Roger Staubach would be great as well, former Navy quarterback. All right, let's talk a little bit about the fullback position. Obviously, Alex Tegza is the star running back in this Navy offense. So your fullback is really going to be your lead carrier in between the tackles. But you don't really get the opportunity to change people's positions when starting up a dynasty. So obviously you're going to want a utility fullback, but what you're really going to want is a power halfback that you convert to fullback, and they'll be a utility fullback, because there's really no good fullbacks in the recruiting class. So for your first year, you might have to play them out of position in the depth chart. It shouldn't hurt them too much. Let's take a look at some power running backs that could be your fullback in the Flexbone. Like I said, you're not going to find very many fullbacks that don't already play for a team that already runs the Flexbone, like Navy or Air Force, that are any good in the default roster. So you're going to have to rely on power backs. CJ Donaldson is a very good one from West Virginia. He's 6'2", 238. And also to mention, this running back is going to be referred to as the B back in this offense. The up backs will be the A backs. This is a B back. So for your B-back, CJ Donaldson would be really good. He's got 90 trucking, 82 strength, and it's also really good to get somebody who has decent blocking as well. So, you know, looks like he's got 68 run blocking and 62 pass blocking, or right around there. They're getting boosted a little bit, but it helps out when they're blocking for those toss sweeps for the A-backs. Here's another one, which is kind of fitting because Gus Malzahn kind of runs a modern day Flexbone. Penny Boone for Central Florida is a power back, 6'1", 232. He is a senior, so you would have to replace him, but 94 trucking, 84 strength. I know he's got decent run blocking as well. And then Caden Fegan for Illinois is an absolute hoss. 82 overall as a sophomore, 6'3", 250 pounds. He's already at 85 speed, 89 acceleration, but you can see it can go up some. He's got 93 trucking, 85 strength. Would be a perfect B-back in this offense. Now, here comes your first recruiting tip for this video, which is you may want to recruit yourself a power back that has the team player mental ability, which essentially takes away any ratings loss that they may get from playing out of position. And you can just leave them at running back and play them at fullback. The reason being, power running backs, you know, get these physical abilities like head first, workhorse, downhill, balance, and arm bar, and these are all the abilities that help with running. Whereas utility fullbacks, they do get the balanced ability, but besides that, they're getting abilities that kind of help out with receiving. They get safety valve to help with receiving, and then they get like sidekick that helps with blocking. So it's up to you if you want your fullback to have a couple, or your B back to have a couple of receiving and blocking abilities, then maybe move them to fullback. But if not, maybe recruit a power back with the team player ability, leave them at running back, and just put them at fullback in the depth chart and limit any ratings loss that they may get. And that way you can keep all of these run first abilities. For your B-back in Ultimate Team, again, not really many great options. If you want to take the Season 2 Caleb Driscoll card and you've got the upgrade token and upgrade him, he might be a good choice. Otherwise, though, you're going to have to rely on power running backs. Again, there is a CJ Donaldson here who we just talked about, and really there's not a whole lot of super high-priced running backs right now. Toby Gearhart would probably be the best one for this offense, but if you don't have the coin, Darquez Hunter is great, CJ Donaldson is great, Caleb Johnson is kind of mid-range price, but probably the best of this 91 group. But really, like any of these power running backs, Marshawn Lynch would be great. Even Taj Brooks would be pretty good in this role. All right, let's talk about your running backs or your A-backs. These are going to be the running backs that are up on the wing in your Flexbone formations that go in motion, take those rocket tosses, but they're also going to be the players that take a lot of your short passes on boots. So they're going to run your drag routes and your crosser routes. So for that reason, I really would recommend a receiving back, which I typically don't love, but I think they fit perfectly for this offense. If you want to go a little bit more, like get more running abilities as opposed to receiving abilities, you can go for elusive back instead. So receiving back does get protection from hit sticks, which is pretty cool. But besides that, you know, you're getting takeoff, sidekick, recoup, and safety valve. So none of these, you know, none of the cool ones like 360 or sidestep or shifty. Do you get, yeah, I think elusive backs get shifty. So all of those really cool ones. So it really depends, you know, your receiving backs are going to be more of your lunch pail guys that you can count on to be reliable. If you want to have an elusive back mixed in there as like a real home run hitter, that's your prerogative. If you're leaning towards starting a Pittsburgh dynasty because of Eli Holstein, I have good news for you. He's got a junior running back, Desmond Reed, who is an 84 overall, who is already pretty good. He's an elusive back, 88 juke move, 94 change of direction, but he also has good route running. So if you're going elusive back, try to check that route running, that 80 short and 79 medium route running. You really don't need the deep route running. If he runs any deep routes, it'll probably be some clear out streaks, and that's about it. But he's got good hands as well. And this is what I was saying, shifty, sidestep, take off 360 and recoup. So, you get this shifty sidestep and 360 as opposed to safety valve and side kick and whatever else. The receiving backs get balanced. So it really depends on what abilities you value the most, honestly. But if you go elusive back, just try and make sure that they have short route running and medium route running. You could even recruit like a smaller route runner at receiver and convert them to running back. Here's an example of a good receiving back that you can start to build your Flexbone offense around. Raleek Brown at Arizona State, 4-star receiving back. He is a sophomore with star development. He's got pretty decent route running already, pretty decent hands, pretty good, really good elusiveness, 94 change of direction. That's great. And he's already got 96 acceleration, 94 speed. So there's a pretty good option there. That's a receiving back. Then if you're digging really, really deep for a rebuild, maybe take a look at Texas State and Torrance Burgess Jr. He is a junior already. He's 79 overall, 80 plus route running all across the board. He's got 71 catching, which isn't great. 80 spectacular catch is pretty cool. 90 speed, 90 acceleration. So really ready to produce and be one of your 2 A-backs in this offense. All right, as far as Ultimate Team goes, the good news is a lot of the top backs are like bigger hybrid backs that you could probably run as a standard RB1. So a lot of these smaller shifty guys are really cheap right now. CJ Spiller, you can get at the minimum 50,000. He's really good. If you have a little more coin, the Anthony Thomas was a limited. You can get him for the minimum of 250,000 coins. And then whenever you're ready to get rid of him, you can just quick sell him for 175,000. He is a really good option here. And then Quinshon Judkins, who gave tons of people nightmares in season 1, is not as OP anymore and also not nearly as expensive, only 33,000 coin average. All right, let's talk a little bit about receivers. The receivers don't play a huge part in this offense, but they do play a crucial part. I'm really not going to tell you that you need a certain archetype. I think physical is the best, or a tight end that is a vertical threat converted to wide receiver. There's like your third recruiting tip in here. But here's what's important. You want them to be able to run block, and you want them to have good deep route running, because they're going to be blocking on the perimeter for you. And when you run those play action boots or play action shots, they're the ones on the outside that are going to be coming across the field on crossers and deep posts and stuff like that. So you're really counting on them for those big plays. So run blocking and deep route running, spectacular catch helps a lot. And then also some size would be nice. So, close to 200 pounds, just so they're not getting pancaked by any linebackers or safeties they may run across. So let's take a look at some that you might want to go with in Dynasty. So if you follow college football at all, there's no surprise at this guy. You know who this is. Tetairoa McMillan for Arizona. Probably the best receiver in the country. Some would argue that. I think he's the best. 6'5", 212, prototypical for what I'm talking about here. He's got 90 deep route running. He's got 99 spectacular catch. And then if you go to power here, he's also got 65 run block, which is pretty freaking good for a wide receiver. 83 strength. So he's going to really be able to handle those cornerbacks and safeties on the outside. How about Cameron Camper at Boise State? He is already a senior, but the thought of Ashton Jeanty in the Flexbone is a little scary. He's a deep threat, but he's 6'3", 197. He's got 85 route running deep. He's got 89 spectacular catch, 90 speed, 91 acceleration, but also he has 70 run blocking, which, as you can see, is way higher than the average wide receiver. And then another example, just to show that it can really be any archetype. We've got a route runner here, Chase Roberts at BYU, 6'4", 210. A route runner who's got, 85 deep route running. He's got 87 spectacular catch, 74 strength, and also 63 run blocking. You can see right here, Darius Lassiter, his teammate, is a deep threat who has 67 run blocking. In Ultimate Team, I really love this 91 Nick Nash. He's just started to fall a little bit in price, so go ahead and pick him up now. He also has I believe an 88 overall. That's a little bit worse, but still same concept. This version has 66 run blocks, so he really fits in well. There is also a limited Tetairoa McMillan card that you can get at the minimum of $250K. Sell for $175K when you're done with him. If you're looking for some super budget options, Savion Williams is a great one from TCU. Very tall, very physical receiver. And then also, here's that 87 Nick Nash I was talking about. But this Rome Odunze, really, really great. If you follow college football or the NFL, you know who Rome Odunze is. From Washington, rookie at the Bears, 14K. Not the fastest in the world, so, you know, he might get eaten up a little if you're trying to run a full spread offense these days, but he will get the job done if you're running a Flexbone. All right, we're getting ready to hop into practice. I'm going to mention two things first. For your offensive line, one thing about the Flexbone is that they run wider splits on the offensive line. So a lot of times you'll see like a 1 foot difference between offensive linemen. You might see a 1.5 to 2 foot difference in the Flexbone. The object being to spread out the defensive line and open it up for those quick hitter plays up the middle with your B-back. So with that being said, I recommend agile offensive linemen or power offensive linemen with like 65 plus speed. Second thing, while I throw up some teams up here that I recommend starting a dynasty with and trying to make the Flexbone work with, what I really need from y'all is to hit that like button and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you like and don't like about this video and what other systems you want to see. We've done the air raid. Here's the Flexbone. What else do we want to see? Let me know. Let's hop into the practice field. Okay, first things first, before we hop into anything else, here's what I want to emphasize to you. If you have no experience running the read option in this game, you need to grab a regular playbook and try it because these reads are quick. You see how close the B-back is to the quarterback? You have to make these reads in like half the time, and I'm probably not very good at them yet. If you don't have any experience at it, here's what it looks like. The R over the defensive end means that we're reading him first. He is our read man. If he crashes down towards the quarterback and where we would hand the ball to the fullback, we're going to keep it because that fullback's going to get tackled for a loss. But if he stays upfield near where he is, like he's trying to contain the outside run, we'll just give it to the fullback up the middle and take advantage of the numbers game there. Now, if we keep it with the quarterback, where the triple comes in, the P over the linebacker's head means he is the pitch man. We are reading him to decide if we are going to pitch it to this running back Chapman that is coming in motion. So there's your triple option. First is, do I hand it off to the fullback? Second is, do I keep it with the quarterback and keep going? And third is, do I pitch it to the A-back coming in motion? I'm probably going to screw it up. Let's try it. All right, he comes in motion. You can see this is so quick. I kept it when I shouldn't have. All right, let's go back into instant replay here and just show you what's going on here because it happens so quickly. So we're reading number 9 here on Notre Dame's defense. Okay, what we want to see is this fullback, Texa, is going to try and fill this gap between number 65 and number 69. So if number 9 crashes down inside, we know that that's getting stuffed, so we're keeping it. However, if he stays upfield like he does here, that's where we want to give it to Texa. And you'll see if we would have given it to him, he might have run into this D tackle where the block was missed, but he might have been able, you see where the gap is there, where there's numbers because this defensive end stayed upfield, so the fullback can shoot up the middle here. All right, running it again here. He stays upfield. We give it to Texa. You see, we just give it to him. Take what we can get with that numbers advantage. Let's see if we can get one where he crashes down on us and we keep it. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but we managed to pull it off, and now I can kind of break it down and show it to you. So here, number 9, the defensive end. He crashes down. So if we give this ball Alex Texa, he's unblocked. Number 9 is. They kind of 62 kind of glitches into him, but what 62 is attempting to do is leave him unblocked and climb up to the second level and probably block number 24 there, while 22 blocks number 34 there, if that makes sense. So again, he crashes down on our fullback here, so we're going to keep it. And then our second unblocked man is number 3 here. And he got to us quick. This is what I'm saying, man. Like, you need to have a quarterback with option king because he got to us quickly. And, I mean, we were going down. We were lucky to get this pitch off. But that's basically how it happens. You make the defense make a choice, and then you go with what they didn't choose. If we had pitched that on time, we would have had a lot of open field here. Probably an easy 5 to 10 yard gain. All right, let's talk about the midline option because this is something that a lot of people don't have a lot of experience with. Now, earlier I said you were going to be reading the 3 technique. It's not exactly true. What's the truth is you're reading the first technique outside of the 1 technique on the play side. So if we run this to the right side, we're actually reading the 5 technique, which is number 9 again, who is outside of the tackle. However, ideally, you are going to read the 3 technique here. So you can flip this, and I use the right stick to just flip it to the left side now. So now we're reading the 3 technique, and what we're going to do is, it's basically the read that you make on the triple option, where if he crashes down, we're going to keep it. And if he stays upfield, we're going to give it. But instead of running the triple option action, we're going to replace the D tackle with our quarterback. So if he crashes down, we're going to run where he was and kind of run up the middle there. That's why I like to have some girth on the quarterback. So right there, he stayed upfield. We handed it to Texa. Let's hop in and look at the replay. So again, we're looking at 56 here. You see how he just kind of stays upfield like he's looking for that outside run. And like I said, this is a quick read. So it requires a lot of practice. So we just hand it off to him up the middle, and he takes what he can get. All right, there we go. All right, so Horvath fumbled there, but it doesn't matter. We're in practice. So we finally got one. So we're reading the 3 technique here, number 99. And we finally got one where, guys, I was doing this for like 10 minutes. He crashes down on the fullback. So we're going to keep it with the quarterback and replace where 99 was. See, you see how that gap is right where he started the play? So that's your goal, is to replace the D tackle. Find the emptiness in the defense and replace it. If he doesn't fumble there, I mean, that's an easy 6-yard gain. Easy peasy. All right, last thing I want to take a look at here is, surprise, surprise, we're actually not using the Navy playbook. My favorite Flexbone playbook is the Air Force playbook for 2 reasons. One, they've got this Maryland I formation where you've got 2 fullbacks and a running back, so you can use it as essentially a second goal line formation. But also, they've got these really awesome pistol empty formations for if you need to go up tempo, or if somebody's just figured out the Flexbone and you need to mix it up a little bit. Empty tight stack, and it's got a ton of misdirection just like the Flexbone does. So you can send, you've got this QB blast where you can send people in motion. You've got the load option where you run the speed option with the guy in motion. Empty Y tight, same deal. You've got these DIY reverses, which I'll hop in and show you in a second. Empty trips, same deal. You've even got a sprint out, a design sprint out, where it'll send your quarterback on a sprint out, which is really, really cool. Let's take a look really quickly at one of these DIY reverses. If you've never used them before, they can be good, but they can also be really bad. It really just depends on if you use it at the right time. Let's just take a look real quick. All right, so the way these DIY reverses work is you're reading the defensive end like you normally would, but so like, for example, on this one, Horvath is the default ball carrier. If I do nothing and just snap it and run with him, it's like a QB blast. But this running back, Heidenreich, he's going to take a little jab step to the right, like he's blocking for me, right? And then he's going to come back to the left. And if I see that this defensive end with the R over him, the right defensive end, technically, if he's following Horvath and just leaves that reverse open, I can hit LB and give it to Heidenreich and run a reverse with him. But if he stays home, we probably just want to run the default run. They're not my favorite kind of plays, but they're really cool to mix in. See right there, he stood home, so I just ran a QB blast. Let's see if he, yeah, so he's following us there. So there we're going to run a reverse. But see, our receiver didn't really block. So again, like right here, the defensive end followed us, so we decided to hand it off on the reverse. But again, you're counting on your receivers to block there. So it's super important to have receivers that are as good blocking as possible. Like I said, recruit you some vertical threat tight ends and move them to receiver. All right, y'all, that is going to wrap it up for this one. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Flexbone offense. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you want to learn about next. I appreciate y'all as always. We will see you next time. Peace out.